All right, good evening. I'm Marty Polio, Superintendent of JCPS. Thank you for having me. All right, stars of the show, Grace James Academy of Excellence, young ladies. How about that? They want to speak, but I said I got 7 minutes, and if you know me and Dr. Marshall, neither one of us do anything in 7 minutes. So we are going to have to move quickly. I'd also like to introduce the rest of our JCPS team. Wave your hand back there, JCPS folks that are with us tonight. Thank you, and especially Ms. Diane Porter, board chair, who is with us tonight. So thank you very much for joining us here, Ms. Porter. We are here to talk to you tonight about Grace James Academy of Excellence. First and foremost, congratulations to all the presenters tonight. What fantastic presentations. We're partners with many of them, all who care about the community and kids. So very meaningful partnerships from all of you, and great job. We're here to talk about Grace James of Excellence. It is an amazing school right now. It is 6th and 7th grade. We just finished up with the Grace James Academy. We are adding the 8th grade next year, so it'll be 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. It is a school that focuses on STEM, all females students. It is the sister school, so to speak, of W.E.B. Du Bois, about a year or two behind them as far as when we have started the school. But they are doing amazing work. I can tell you this right now. The #1 middle school in growth for reading and math on our scores map, Grace James Academy of Excellence for 6th and 7th grade. You go into the school led by Rhonda Cosby, you see amazing things going on right now. In short, so I can move quickly and get to Dr. Marshall. In West Louisville, there has not been a new middle school built here since before 1952. Western Middle School was the last one built. It is time to change that. We have two major projects that we need to invest in West Louisville. First of all is a brand new West Louisville Comprehensive Middle School. We are working on that as we speak as well. Secondly is a full campus for Grace James. It is going 6 through 12. Our board has already approved that. So we need an innovative, thank you. We need an innovative space. If you know Principal Cosby, she wants innovation. This is all about STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. These young ladies are doing amazing things. We need to be in West Louisville. We would love to be here at Russell and make sure that we have seats for young ladies from Russell going to this wonderful magnet school. And I think that can happen. I know it can happen. And so we are looking for an innovative space. The Madison property is perfect for us. We have 150,000 square feet school. Now, it is not big enough to be your traditional campus that is spread out. So it will be an innovative space that will go up, but we also want to partner with the community and partner with several organizations that are here tonight. We want to have a full-size gymnasium. And also, this is what's going to set this apart, a fine arts center that will be a shared space with the community to have music festivals, plays, musicals, all of those things that we think are so important in this community. And we also want a green space for students and a community to utilize. Next slide, please. So this is our vision. You can see the type of innovative space we are looking for. Really open-aired, a lot of natural light coming in. The maker spaces, the labs that students can do this work, real life, innovative type activities. You could see what we would like the front of the school to look like. Beautiful school. We also, as you can see in the top right corner, a fine arts center to share with the community as well. Next slide, please. So with the cost of our project, $50 million. We have it earmarked right now to build Grace James, a campus. We are building a Grace James. We hope to do it here, but if it's here or somewhere else, we have $50 million. Now that price has probably gone up because everything to build now is much more expensive, but we have the funds ready to go to do this. As soon as we find the space, we are ready to go, $50 million. And I will say this is a sustainable project. In 50 years from now, if we build Grace James Academy of Excellence, 50 years from now, it will be funded at $7 to $8 million a year right here in this community with this beautiful space. We also want to, like I said, Fine Arts Center. We want to have a space for community partners as well. Maybe even some that we can collaborate that have presented tonight that we could put on that property as well. And I'll talk to you about this additional annual investment. To finish up and tell you a little bit more about the importance, I'd like to introduce Dr. John Marshall, who will finish up this evening.
All right, so we're going to talk about black excellence. I think you see it in the making when we stand with these young ladies standing behind me. We understand that as we invest in Russell, the main investment must be our students. These young ladies you already heard are outperforming, if you will, the growth of all of our students. What JCPS can do and what JCPS will continue to do under the leadership of Dr. Polio, Diane Porter, and others is invest in our students. The rich history in Russell speaks to why these young ladies are standing behind them. The parents that stand up that want this here. Some of them don't live in Russell, but they understand the importance of Russell because they grew up here now. So they want their babies to come back and see this kind of work. This is the work that we must do, and the partnerships, Dr. Polio talked about it. Whether we get it or not, a lot of the people that spoke are already in partnership with us, and we need to do this more than ever right now with the things going on. The ladies behind me are activists. We say that they're academic activists, and they are not playing. They're in purple suits or purple gowns, because we're putting them in STEAM, we're putting them in the arts, we're putting them in engineering, and again, they're leading the district with their growth. Next slide. So the Grace James, how does this support black wealth? If Russell is a neighborhood, the schoolhouse is called a schoolhouse for a reason. We would be one of the best neighbors in this neighborhood because it would be an open situation. Everyone is invited, everyone is expected, and excellence is what we already have growing, and we definitely want to do that here at Russell unapologetically for this. And I want you to understand this if you don't know. We're talking about STEAM, and every day, all day, they're learning. It's gender-centric as well. It's not only Afro-centric at Grace James, it's gender-centric. So they're learning about themselves. Next slide. And then we have a $500 million investment that we're bringing to the table. So we understand that this is stabilizing and increasing property values. This is competitive paying wages. The jobs that are open, we have Dr. Green-Webb back there. We're looking to support and employ Russell people to support that inside the school and work with our future scientists, leaders, lawyers, etc. And a critical mass of activities inside the building. Imagine a schoolhouse as it used to be that never closed. Imagine a schoolhouse as it used to be that was open for all and all things were happening inside of it. That's what we are saying needs to happen inside of this school, and that is the positivity. And Ms. Porter always talks about a school is the heartbeat of the community. This is what we're trying to do here with Grace James. As it aligns to our pledge of Russell, one another embodies principles and stabilizes, creates, and grows.
Oh, as a reminder, we have 5 minutes, okay, for questions. I don't want to tussle with nobody, but we are going to be respectful of everybody's time, okay? So, that nigga's up. We got Mr. Frank.
You mentioned the Fine Arts Academy or Fine Arts Center being part of the community. What is JCPS's vision of community involvement in what's going on at Grace James beyond the academic, in the more collaborative efforts? What do you see as the community involvement?
So, what we really want, and we have a model like it was first built out at Norton Commons with the Y, the collaboration with the Y that we are now building with West Louisville Y on 18th and Broadway. And so that collaboration allows students to use that during the day, and obviously the community to use the Y throughout the day and into the evening. We would want the same with our Fine Arts Center, which would mean our students would obviously use that during the day, and then obviously have some night activities as well as they put on their own plays. But we would want this to be open to community events every other night of the year. And so having, whether that be a play, a musical, or some, events coming in, graduations, all kinds of ceremonies like that, we want to be a part of that. And we want our young ladies in Grace James to be a part of that as well.
Do you see a need for all of the ground space that JCPS activities are taking place as having to be your name on the deed, or what do you see in terms of community land trust?
Yeah, so there's some challenges with that that's a little bit different because we have an entity called the Kentucky Department of Education that approves that. And we did this with the Y. And so we are working and exploring right now to see if the leasing is a possibility. It's not used with schools at all in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, but the KDE has pledged to work with us. Now, what we did at the Y in both spots is we split the land up and let the Y own it, and then we owned a piece of it as well. So we are open to either one of those. I'll say this, it's not my expertise. Obviously lawyers get involved in that in the KDE, but they have committed to be partners with us to figure out the best way and the easiest way to get this done legally.
And structurally, is Spatially, you were saying it's probably going to be multiple stories, or open to that. What kind of height, what kind of space are you looking at?
So
Four
total
stories, 2 story, 3 story?
150,000 square feet. Usually what we look for in a school, that used to be required. Fortunately, they've backed off of that at the Kentucky Department of Education. For a middle school is about 20 acres. We obviously, and if you go into any urban area where they're building new schools, you just don't find many spaces with 20 acres that are available. And so building up is usually, so we're probably talking a 4-floor structure, and then a second, connected to it, but down on the first floor would be the Fine Arts Center and the gymnasium as well.
We have one question over here.
That you'll be building a neighborhood school, considering that the West End only has 3 schools, and if every child wanted to go to a middle school, it wouldn't be enough middle school. So could you tell me how that plays?
Sure. So we have two projects we are looking for, which Grace James, and the second being the neighborhood West Louisville school that you're talking about. We are searching right now between 10 to 20 acres for that facility. So we will need a bigger plot of land for that, which we are working on right now in conjunction with this too. So that is a project that we are committed to. We have funds set aside for that as well, and it will be built in the next 24 months.
You're talking about the neighborhood school?
Yes, ma'am.
That's great.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I want to hold you to it.
Please do. Please do.
One last question, one more minute, Gabe.
Cool. Hello? All right, so if JCPS and Grace James is on the site, what constraints, if any, does that place on what other businesses or what other developments can share that site?
Yeah, and just being very candid with you, I mean, when we are talking about a school for students that's going to have 1,000 square feet and is going to have a fine arts center, we will need a vast majority of the land. That is one of the things we will need. That doesn't preclude to say that that there can't be a second structure with some other opportunities in there, but I will say this, we can negotiate on the actual acreage of how much it will be, but to get to this is what we want, it would require most of the acreage.
So most of the acreage of the Grace James site?
Correct.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Great. Thank you all. Appreciate it.